What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to tell you the story about the time that I sang karaoke in an Irish pub in northern Germany. What's up, everyone? I'm Rochelle, and welcome to Adventure is Never Far Away. It's possible to have a life full of adventures. Subscribe and come along as I show you that adventure is never far away. So before we start into this story, I just want to make a note that these pictures that I'm going to be sharing with you were taken in 2014, shot on my iPhone 4S. For context, I now have a 10, so it's been a while. And I was shooting at night, and it was at a time where I thought that these really weird filters were really cool. And this is, of course, before I learned about Photoshop or Lightroom or any kind of editing software. So keep that in mind, that this is more about telling a story rather than a visual storytelling experience. So let's get into it. So let's back up a little bit, give you a little bit more context. So in 2014, I went on a study abroad in northern Germany. The city is called Kiel. So while we were there, every Tuesday night, all of my classmates would go to the local Irish pub and they would go to karaoke night. I just thought it was funny, but I never joined in with them. So now fast forward to the last full week that all of us were in Kiel for this program. Tuesday night comes and I am in my dorm trying to take a quick nap because, let's face it, you're studying abroad, you're not really sleeping. And I was starting to feel it by the end of this program. So I woke up from my nap to pounding on my door, like multiple people just pounding and yelling for me and basically pleading for me to come with them to go do karaoke this one last time that we're all together. Okay, I gave in. Peer pressure got the best of me. Plus, I figured it was going to be a good story. And it was. So somehow, people in my group figured out that I like to sing. I sing for church. I don't sing for anybody else but church. I don't like karaoke, and I usually try to not tell people that I can sing, although I'm telling you that, so it's kind of defeating the purpose. Anyway, they were pressuring me to sing, and I just decided, you know what, I don't want to sing by myself. If I'm going up there, I'm going up there with somebody else, and we're going to do a duet. So I was super duper nervous, and my classmates didn't want to lose me because I was kind of getting ready to flee. And let's call him Nick. And that's definitely not his name, but I didn't ask his permission before sharing this story. Although he was a little drunk, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to remember too much of it. Anyway, Nick has a beautiful voice. I'd heard him sing in the subway, and just kind of as we're going places, he would just start to sing. And it was beautiful to listen to. And so I figured I'd feel less awkward if I was up there with somebody else. So not all the attention would be on me. So we got on the bus, going to this pub, and while we're on the bus, Nick and I are trying to figure out what we want to sing. Do we want to sing Sonny and Cher? Do we want to sing Donnie and Marie? Do we want to sing something hardcore that's not traditionally a duet? Finally, we thought, wouldn't it be funny if we sang Phantom of the Opera? How many times can you say that you've heard somebody sing an opera during a karaoke night at a local pub? Probably never, right? And I'm pretty sure we were just kidding when we thought, oh, let's sing Phantom of the Opera. Wouldn't that be funny? And then we started talking about it a little bit more, and we're like, okay, we're doing this. This is definitely happening. So when we finally got to the right bus stop, we hopped off. Somebody ran up and put our name down on the list for singing karaoke. And then Nick and I decided to walk arm in arm up and down the alley, pulling up the lyrics to the song, practicing at the top of our lungs, and basically annoying every single person that lived in that area, because I'm pretty sure by that point it was already past 10 o'clock at night. But we didn't care. We were young and stupid, walking arm in arm, singing at the top of our lungs down the cobblestone streets. Nick was already a little bit smashed, he'd been pre-gaming, and I was starting to loosen up, and I felt, okay, this is happening. And I just started grinning like an idiot. So I was all smiles as we waltzed up and down the street. Quite a few people that were walking around would stop and listen, and we actually got a few moments of applause, which I don't know why. But after we started to hear the pounding on the windows and the walls of the residents that were living there, we decided to run into the pub. So when we found our group at the back room, I mean, the sounds that were coming out of the people that were singing karaoke made my ears want to bleed. Like, it was just so bad, and I'm sure I wasn't gonna sound any better, but it was absolutely terrible. They were singing New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, but only knew like half of the words, and just were laughing the entire time. I was actually, thinking back, pretty comedic. So after my ears stopped bleeding, someone yelled to me and Nick and saying, "Hey, you guys are next." So to quote the comedian Kathy Griffin during one of her specials, she said, "You know that pre-diarrhea feeling you get where all of a sudden everything kind of just and just nausea, absolute nausea. Why was I having such a hard time with this? Like, why was I making this such a big deal? I know how to sing. I'm comfortable being in front of a group, no problem, especially one that probably either won't remember or can't understand me as I'm speaking in English and like struggling with it." But I think it was just a combination of all of that. As soon as the MC called out our names, it was just like instant sweat, instant panic. Nick grabbed my arm and we seriously just have to push our way up to the stage. And it was the most surreal feeling because as we're pushing our way up, people are realizing that we're the couple that's going up, and all of a sudden people are pounding on my back and grabbing by the shoulders like, "Yeah, good job, you're gonna do this. I'm like, how do you know? So we finally approach the MC, we grab our mics, we turn around, and I felt like a celebrity for a second because instant blinding lights, you could just feel the crowd surging, you could feel the feet stomping on the ground, the clapping. It was almost like the whole room was just vibrating with this energy, and it reminded me of when I took my brother to an Avenged Sevenfold concert and we were in the pit in the mosh right in front of the stage where you couldn't stand still. Everybody's just moving you constantly. That's kind of what it felt like. And all of a sudden the fear just left. I figured, you know what? This is gonna be terrible, but they don't care. They're just glad that I'm up here. Let's give these people some entertainment for a few minutes, sing with Nick, and just have a good time. So it began. Andrew Lloyd Webber started pumping through the speakers, and the crowd was a little confused for a second. And then as soon as I started to sing the words, "In sleep he sang to me," the crowd lost it. Nick and I just killed it. With every second that we were singing, the crowd got louder and louder and louder. Now, if you've ever listened to the Phantom of the Opera before, like the actual song, the Phantom of the Opera, you know that the female vocal part is ridiculously high. Like, we're talking like glass shattering high. But to quote Fat Amy, crushed it. So by the time that we finished the song, Nick and I were out of breath, sweaty, and just soaring high on cloud 9. And as a thank you for all of the participants that sang karaoke, they got a shot of something. I'm not really sure what it was. I gave it to Nick, and my friends were so cute, and they ordered me a round of water when we got back to our table. It was the funnest thing ever. And I couldn't believe that I had done it. I couldn't believe that not only did I have the courage just to keep going, but that I actually, by the end of it, enjoyed it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm gonna look for every opportunity to have to sing karaoke, because that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is the courage that it took me to get up there was palpable, and it resonated, and it helped me realize that even if I'm not in my comfort zone, even if I'm doing something that I would rather not, I can have a really good time, and it's going to create this amazing memory for me that's going to stay with me longer than whatever embarrassment I might feel at the moment. So the next time you have an opportunity to experience something that maybe you don't like, or maybe it's just not something that you've ever considered, go for it. You never know how that moment is going to affect you and how amazing it's going to be for you to look back on that moment in time and realize not only how strong you are, how adventurous you are, but it's going to be a really, really, really good story. So, until our next adventure, see you guys later.